Welcome to the cleansing and detoxing module. I'm just getting this set up here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Okay, so for cleansing and detoxing, you have a workbook page that goes along with this. And we're going to be talking about how to do this with raw food as well as herbs and some other things. So go ahead and follow along in your workbook as we go. Let's see if I can get this to work here. All right, so the Lamborghini is the most expensive car in the world. It's around $4 million by the time that I've done this, excluding collector cars. So it's a very expensive machine. How would you treat your most prized possession? I want you to think about this because we're going to talk about our most prized possession, and it's not a car. What would you feed it if it was a car? Gasoline, oil? Would you want it to look like this, yucky oil, or would you like to have it nice and clean? Does it matter what you feed it? What kind of things are going inside that car? Absolutely. If you don't get it good gas or oil, or you don't change it, then it's going to get all gummed up and it'll eventually stop working, right? So the same thing happens with us in our bodies. Our bodies are our most prized possession. How are we treating them? Are we overfeeding them, undernourishing or feeding them, or doing pretty well at making sure there's a balance? That's something to be thinking about as long as we go through this. How do you choose to fuel your vehicle every day? So the fuel that we choose is really important, right? Fast food is not the best way for us to be eating because that doesn't fuel our body very well. We've talked a bit about the raw food versus cooked and the acrylamide and other chemicals that can be produced in those types of foods. So we need to be really careful about cooked foods and the chemicals that are in them, and the additives and all those things. Also, this little girl down here says, I won't eat. There are many people who have eating disorders that struggle with the mindset and viewpoint of eating, and so we really need to be careful about how we're thinking about food. So we'll talk about that in other modules as well, but right now we're going to be talking about the fuel. All right. How do you feel after you eat? Are you feeling tired and exhausted? Are you feeling happy and satisfied? Do you have energy? Do you feel stressed out or frustrated? Or the way that we feel has to do with how we're treating our bodies as well. And the foundation is the nutrition. So we need to make sure that the nutrition piece is in place so that you have that excellent foundation created that you can build upon with exercise and with fresh air and sunshine and healthy relationships and love. All of those things come together, and they're built upon this foundation of good, healthy food. The fuel we choose to put in our body every day makes a huge difference. You are valuable. You're uniquely suited to do some things better and with more passion and greater ability than anyone else in the world. Finding and nurturing your place of balance, perfection, and power is the key to attract unlimited resources and creativity, to reach your ultimate human potential, and to enjoy a life well lived. This is by James and Colleen Simmons of the Original Fast Foods. Dr. Christopher believed that there's only one cause of disease, which is constipation. This is really interesting. I think of constipation not only in the bowel, but also in the brain, for example, with a brain tumor, or in the breast with a breast tumor. Anywhere that there is a collection of cells or constipation of the matter that's in there, the fecal matter or whatever, that is going to cause disease. So we need to make sure that we are cleaning, nourishing, and strengthening ourselves, our bodies, and we do this with the channels of elimination. Just like a car, we need to maintain our vehicle and take care of it. Unlike a car, our bodies are capable of regenerating and healing when given the right fuel. So cars end up getting old over time. We do maintain them, but they're not living things and they can't regenerate and heal, but our bodies can. So the fuel is even more important for our bodies, isn't it? Let's talk about the channels of elimination. First of all, we have the skin. The skin is the largest organ of the body, and it is a channel of elimination. And a lot of times when people think about the skin, they think, oh, if I have a rash or something, something's wrong topically with my body, but it's actually coming from inside the body. When the bowel is not moving properly, when you're getting constipation in that area, then it will try to go out any other channel of elimination that it can. And often those toxins go out through the skin, which is why we get rashes. So that's the body's indication or way of telling us that something is wrong internally. We need to listen to that. The next one is the lungs. Lungs, as we breathe in and out. We're taking in toxins and breathing out toxins. And so we need to make sure that, the air that we're getting is good, clean, and pure as much as possible. I know that can be difficult, but you can get filters and other things as needed. Also going outside and making sure that you're getting fresh air, and deep breathing is an important thing. We'll talk more about that. The liver is another channel of elimination or a detoxing organ, as well as the kidneys and the colon. Okay, and then this arrow shows us that we go from the bottom up, and I'll explain a bit more about that. So the step one is to cleanse. And we need to be able to do this. No one can do it for you. So you must decide and commit and then get to work. And it all starts with the cleanse. We start with the bowel and work your way up. So this is a good depiction of what's going on inside the body. There is a lot, there's a lot of the colon and the intestines that food has to go through, as well as all the rest of the digestive system. So there's a lot that it has to move through to be able to get out. And when that is messed up, clogged by a lot of animal products and other things, the foods that are processed, highly processed foods, cooked foods, all those things, fried foods, they're going to clog up the system. So what we need to do is start with the bowel first. So the colon care, Dr. Christopher does have a quick colon cleanse and a lower bowel formula that help with getting things moving. This is for more severe cases where you may not be going very often, maybe once or twice a week. We should be eliminating anywhere from 3 to 6 times a day. And this was really a revelation, I guess, to me, because I did eat the standard American diet when I first started, well, most of my life. And then in 2009, when I first started this, I was really shocked at how much was coming out of the toilet, just eating raw fruits and vegetables. And it kind of scared me a little bit, but it was neat because I could see that my body was definitely cleaning out. And so you may experience that as you are cleaning your body out, and that is a good thing. Don't get nervous or scared of that. But if you do need some help, then you can do the quick colon cleanse and lower bowel formula. There's also drinking a gallon a day of distilled water, especially while you're cleansing. That helps to grab all of the inorganic minerals, but it does not touch the organic minerals. And Dr. Christopher was a proponent of distilled water. Stop eating animal products and constipating foods. This is important because as we put these things in, they're also inflammatory and mucus-producing foods. And they're things that our bodies really don't need a lot of, if any. So reduce those or eliminate them as much as possible. Eat plenty of fresh organic fruits in the mornings especially, but all throughout the day. Fruit is the fastest for us to digest. It stays in the stomach about 6 minutes or so. And it can get backed up if you eat it at the end of the meal. For example, if you're used to eating meat and potatoes and vegetables and things like that for dinner, and then you have fruit after that as a dessert, that fruit, it digests so quickly that it actually will sit and ferment because it can't get through the rest of the things that you've already eaten. So that's where the gas builds up and it is rather unpleasant. And then the fruit can't go and do its job with feeding all the cells of the body and things because it's just sitting there fermenting. So we need to make sure that we're eating the fruit first. and plenty of it throughout the day. And that helps to give us the fiber that we need and all the nutrients. A large salad at noon with lots of vegetables is another great way to get your minerals and things, as well as some roughage to be able to get things through. Sprouted nuts and seeds for snacks is also excellent. And then light dinner or green smoothie is great to finish off your day. You can also have a couple of pieces of fruit again. It's great. Kidney care then, Dr. Christopher also has kidney formula. These are herbal formulas, so they're cleansing, nourishing, and strengthening each of these areas specifically. So they're really good. I highly recommend these formulas. This helps to support the urinary tract, the kidney, and the bladder. So it has organic juniper berry, parsley root, organic and wild-crafted marshmallow root, wild-crafted golden seal root, organic uva ursi leaf, and wild-crafted lobelia herb, and organic ginger root. So it actually tells you if it's organic or wild-crafted here. Wild-crafted means that they've gone out into the wild and they've taken it from the earth. So it is not sprayed generally unless it's come out from the clouds or something, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So organic and wild-crafted are the two best ways of getting good quality fruits and vegetables and herbs. So you want to make sure that you are getting that on your labels. Herbs and food that are good for kidneys are unsweetened apple cider that has the mother at the bottom. That's the cloudy part at the bottom of the bottle. And then the horseradish, powerful diuretic to treat the kidney stones. So that's a good one to use. And then marshmallow root, olive oil, aloe vera, and juniper berries are all excellent for foods and herbs, medicinal herbs for the kidneys. For passing stones then, soak 2 ounces of hydrangea root in 1 quart of raw unsweetened apple juice and let it soak for 3 days in the refrigerator. Heat to a slow simmer and allow to cool. On the 5th day, strain and use. Take 1 ounce each waking hour until it's all gone. The parsley root tea is also great for removing all gall and kidney stones. So you can do a cleanse that way as well. And then foods to avoid to reduce the risk of kidney stones will be lots of leafy greens and fruit or foods with oxalates that disrupt the balance of phosphorus and calcium, and they can cause stones if you're prone to them. Chocolate and other high oxalate foods as well. So you don't need to worry about reducing the leafy greens or chocolate or other things unless you are prone to kidney stones. Most people are not, but these are some of the foods that the doctors suggest to stay away from. So please listen to your doctor and work with them if you have a tendency toward the stones. You can also supplement with these herbs that we just talked about, and that should help as well. Liver care. He has a liver and gallbladder formula as well that contains barberry bark, wild yam root, cramp bark, fennel seed, ginger root, catnip herb, and peppermint leaf. And these are organic and wild-crafted, but I didn't take the time to put all that in there. He also has a 3-day cleanse, and there's a mucusless diet book by by Arnold Ehret, and this is in your workbook as well. I put it in there. Herbs and foods for the liver care: aloe vera, Oregon grape, barberry, plantain is great also for snake bites. It cleans the liver of the poisons. Carrot, lemons, limes, and citrus. Garlic, grapefruit, beets, leafy greens, apples, avocados, olive oil, walnuts, cabbage, turmeric, and cruciferous vegetables, and dandelions. Dandelions, make sure they're not sprayed, but they're excellent for the liver. You can make a tea out of those and drink it. Out of the root or the leaves is fine. There are many health benefits of the lime and the lemon. The lemon helps to control high blood pressure. It helps cure problems related to indigestion and constipation. So as we're talking about this constipation, making sure that you're getting your lemon water in the morning is excellent. It helps with that. It also soothes toothache and cleanses teeth, cures chlorella and malaria. It treats rheumatism and arthritis, helps to heal the corns on the feet, provides relief from fever and cold, relieves the respiratory and the breathing problems, as well as removes wrinkles and blackheads, eases pain of sunburn and bee stings, helps reduce weight, reduces dandruff and gives hair a natural shine, provides relaxation to the feet, stops internal bleeding and nosebleeds, helps fade scars. So there are a lot of different nutrients, vitamins, and minerals in there that you can see: the dietary fiber, carbohydrates, protein, and calories. They have the percentages there, as well as vitamins and minerals. So those are excellent to do, to have lemon water first thing in the morning is very cleansing. You can also do lime water if you like, kind of switch it on and off. You can see the different things. You can stop this tape and read them. I won't go ahead through the rest of them with the lime, but they do have some excellent benefits. So make sure that you're using the citrus. It is acidic on the outside of the body, but it's alkaline on the inside, so it changes the pH. So make sure that you're brushing your teeth afterwards because you don't want that acid on your teeth, but you do want the many benefits of the alkaline inside your body. There are 10 reasons to eat mint. Mint is excellent for clearing up congestion of the nose, throat, and lungs, helps weight loss in a healthy way, inhibits the release of histamines that cause allergies and hay fever, helps to prevent cancer. It's a natural stimulant, relieves from fatigue and depression. People chewing mint gums have higher memory retention and alertness. Promoting digestion, improves oral health, quick and effective remedy for nausea. It relieves symptoms of acne as well. And you can infuse the mint essential oil, the peppermint or spearmint is fine, in a room or put it, smell it, and that will help you to stay awake. If you need to, if you're going driving to stay awake, you can do that. Or if you are a student and need to study and stay awake, then you can use that as a stimulant. And then you can see all the nutrients, minerals, and vitamins as well that these have. So these are really good herbs that you can grow. I have spearmint and peppermint in my garden also. They are perennials here in Utah, so they'll continue to reseed and grow year round. And I get a lot of it, so really good to have on hand. These 3 amazing herbs clean your liver. You can put 1 tablespoon of lemon and a tablespoon of lime juice and 1 drop of peppermint oil in an 8-ounce glass of purified or distilled water. Mix it up and drink it. This makes an excellent liver cleanse. I use 1 drop each lemon and peppermint essential oil, which is recommended by Purify Essential Oils. Also use spearmint on children younger than 10 years old. Peppermint can actually cause a child to stop breathing, so you need to understand the warnings on these labels. A lot of companies don't tell you that, so make sure that you understand that peppermint can make a child stop breathing. Use only spearmint on those younger than 10 years old, and just be careful with them. They're very powerful. They're over 100 times in strength than what a regular herb would be. So if you wanted to do like a peppermint tea, that is fine for children under 10. But spearmint is absolutely safe. The peppermint tea would be fine just because it's not at that high concentration like an essential oil is. But again, use caution. Okay, lung care. Avoid mucus-forming foods like animal products, meat, dairy, cheese, eggs, processed and cooked foods. These cause colds, asthma, bronchitis, RSV, and all kinds of lung mucus-forming issues. When you're congested, you can use a chopped onion, warm it up in a glass dish in the oven with olive oil, and you apply it slightly warm. Don't burn the skin to the chest with a cloth over it. Onions help to pull the mucus out of the body. You can also use Dr. Christopher's lung formula to help clean out, nourish, and strengthen the lungs. Ginger helps with circulation and dislodge phlegm. Deep breathing, again, is really important. Make sure that you're breathing deeply and not a shallow breath because our lungs need that. It actually will help to fill them and extend their capacity, and it's very healing for the lungs. Fresh air and sunshine, again, are important too. Taking care of your skin starts from within by eating healthy. So like we talked about at the beginning, make sure that the bowel is clear so that you're not getting rashes and things. And then eating really good, healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables and a little bit of your sprouted nuts and seeds. Using that 80-10-10 way of eating is the best. Make sure you're getting plenty of sunshine and fresh air, and dry brush before showering or baths. And that helps to stimulate the skin and get rid of any dry skin or dead skin that's on there, and just helps rejuvenate it. Some additional aids: green smoothie skin salve that I made called Raw Food for the Skin. You can get that at rawchefwendy.com, and I sell that. It was actually something that I made as part of my Master Herbalist project that I did, And I formulated this, and it has worked really well. It has comfrey in it. It has red clover and plantain. It does have a little bit of peppermint leaf. It's excellent. And I've used it on children as well. And because, like I talked about before, it is the herb and it's not as concentrated in the oil, then you should be fine using that. There's just a small amount. This has helped a lot of people with all kinds of skin issues, from rashes to burns, as well as accidents like skin rashes and things from bike accidents. My son had an incident where he got bike rash all over him. He fell down on his arms and legs and things, and we put this on and it never even scabbed over. It just healed the skin beautifully. It was on his face too. He had a helmet on, but he landed on his face and it was really awful. But it healed very quickly, more quickly than what skin normally does. And like I said, there was no rash at all. You couldn't tell that anything had happened. So it works excellent. It's good to have in your first aid kit as well. So step 2 then is to nourish the body. So the fruit, again, is the first to digest, very cleansing because of its fiber and water content. It's high in antioxidants, astringents, and food for the brain and nerves, and it helps increase energy. It's very nutritious. Eat only organic if possible. You can eat the conventional if you can't find the organic. Just do your best to do that. And you can use the fruit wash if you need to. There's a recipe in my Reasonably Raw recipe book for that. And it does use some lemon, peppermint oil or lemon juice as well as, I think it has some vinegar in there. So it's a good one to be able to use. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about food combining tips. So eating melons alone or leaving them alone is important. They digest at a different rate than other fruits, so don't combine them with other fruits. Just eat them by themselves. Many times I'll sit and eat an entire honeydew or cantaloupe melon in a sitting, and that's my breakfast or lunch or snack. And it's very nourishing. It has a lot of nutrients in there, and then it gives me energy for the rest of the day. Don't be afraid to eat your fruit. As long as you keep that fat low to 10%, then your fruit is going to give you the protection that you need from all kinds of diseases, as well as give you that energy and mental clarity that you need. Children need to eat more fruit, especially if they have ADD or ADHD or attention issues, mental issues, anything like that. Make sure they're getting lots and lots of fruit. 80% of what they should be consuming is fruit. Eat fruit first at your meal. Don't combine fruit with other types of foods, even vegetables. Lettuce and leafy greens are neutral, so you can combine the fruit with these in salads and smoothies. The neutral part of that just means that lettuce can go either with the fruit or with the vegetables, and so you can put those in salads and smoothies. Okay. Here's a food combining chart that I created that helps to explain this a little bit more. So eating the vegetables and leafy greens is great, and these are where you're going to get a lot of your nutrients as well as your minerals. So eating a high amount of these, as much as you can eat, is great, and these are considered more neutral. You can combine them with sweet fruits, combine with lettuce or celery here. These are subacid fruits, and you can combine with sweet fruits or acid fruits, but not with both. So they're good with celery and lettuce also. And then the acid fruits combine with subacid fruits, but not sweet fruit. They may be combined with celery or lettuce. So that just kind of helps you see what you can combine them with. The starches then are like the breads and pumpkins, root vegetables. You can combine these with the leafy greens and vegetables, but avoid combining with tomatoes, protein, and fruit, and eat them sparingly. The starches, they don't combine well with sweet fruit especially, so just eat them by themselves and then wait for an hour or so, and then you can have your sweet fruits. Proteins and fat, combine with salad or eat alone. Sprout the nuts to make sure that you get all of the nutrients that are available for you. So we are going to talk a bit more about sprouting, but I do have that in my video course for you so that you can see how to use this or how to sprout the seeds. So make sure that you watch that module. But don't combine with sugary starches, and eat about a 1/4 cup a day or less. So this is about a handful is what we talked about. And it depends on your size of hand. If you have a larger hand, it could be a half a cup to a cup. So what you can do is just take a large amount of those and put them in your hand and then put it into a measuring cup, and you should be able to see how much you would want to have every day. And then again, at the bottom, eat melons alone. Don't combine with any other food. So those can be a good model meal for you, and that'll be perfect. Vegetables are full of fiber, amino acids, minerals, and packed with nutrition. They're great for building a weakened body. They're more musculoskeletal foods than fruits are, and they don't combine with fruit. So wait about 5 to 10 minutes after consuming the fruit to eat the vegetables. Vegetables may be combined with starches and proteins, though, so you should be fine there. Starches are mucus forming, hard to digest, and they spike the blood sugars, and they add wheat, like a wheat belly. They can also be gluey to the bowels when they're not prepared properly. So that's the key to all of those things I just said, is if they're prepared properly, then they don't have those issues. And we prepare them by sprouting the grains and seeds for optimum nutrition. But if they're just the dry flour, that's where you're getting the problems with the mucus and difficulty digesting that and the sugar spikes and all those things. So it's a difference between using a dry flour, which is not good, versus sprouting them and making a bread out of sprouted grains and seeds. Then that is good, and you'll be able to digest it much easier. Plus, you get a lot more nutrients in there as well. All protein comes from meat, right? Wrong. High animal protein diets actually cause a lot of body odor and bad breath. They ferment in the bowel for days, and you can get possible kidney damage. It's associated with high blood pressure, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, as well as constipation, increased inflammation, and may also cause dehydration, seizures, and nutritional deficiencies, as well as death. High animal protein diets are very high risk. So the keto diet, the paleo diet, all the Atkins diet, all these different diets that are high protein, high fat, low carb type things, they're very unhealthy over time. You can get some really good results with them in the short term, but be very careful if you're going to choose to do that. You'll want to switch over to more of a raw food diet after you get the weight loss that you want or whatever. But it's something that I don't recommend personally. The most comprehensive study of nutrition ever conducted was the China study by T. Colin Campbell. He and his scientists found that the foci, which are precursor clusters of cells that grow into tumors, were directly affected by the amount of animal protein that was eaten. Cancer can literally be turned on or off depending on how much animal protein is consumed. They found, however, that plant protein does not have the same effect at high doses. So you can eat as much of the plant protein, which comes from every plant, and the seeds like the hemp, flax, and chia are very high in protein. We only need about 5% of protein, which is talked about in this book as well. We consume 20% or more here in the United States, which is way too much. And we're constantly being fed by the media and by these bodybuilders and everyone that we need to have this high amount of protein. But it's actually very hard on our organs. It's hard for us to digest, and it causes all kinds of problems. So listen to the studies that are out there with the plants. There's a lot of them. And people who are getting healthy and looking younger, just having energy, all of that comes from the plants. So all plants contain protein. So you see up at the top, we've got the animal protein. Chicken has 31 grams of protein. Tuna has 29 grams. Beef, 28 grams. Eggs, 12.5 grams. However, spirulina has 58 grams of protein. Chlorella is 58 as well. TVP is textured vegetable protein. That is 53 grams of protein. Hemp seeds have 33 grams. Pumpkin seeds 30. Look at all of these amazing plant-based proteins that you can be using. I'd be very careful about the peanut butter. However, I would use almond butter instead. Peanut butter has aflatoxin, which is a mold, and it talks a lot about this in the China study, to be careful about it. They did find in China that there was a group of children especially that ate a lot of peanut butter, and they had liver cancer. So The higher quality peanut butters they found didn't have as much aflatoxin, but the lower quality ones, they went and saw in the manufacturing plants that they would take the moldy peanuts and just throw them into the vats that they would be using for the lower quality peanut butter. So it had a high amount of that aflatoxin or mold in it. And that's what our children are allergic to. So be very careful about peanut butter. And again, I choose not to eat it because of that. So I use like the almond butter or other nuts or seeds. You can use those as well. But I want you to understand too with the protein that the chicken, tuna, all of these things that we use as protein sources, we only get about 30% or less of the benefit from it. Our body does not use that as protein like we think it does. And so we need to have larger amounts of it to be able to get the kind of protein that we need. Whereas if we're eating the protein from the plants, which is what chickens and tuna and beef and, or, you know, the cows, all of these animals actually get their protein from the plants. So they are a secondary source for us. Why not go to the primary source like they do to the plants and get the protein from them instead? Then you're not going to have all these diseases and other issues that we're dealing with. All right, organic raw food is the best fuel for our bodies. It has live enzymes. It's very cleansing, nourishing, and strengthening, like we talked about. Toning to the body. It contains protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, and so much more. Plant-based, organic, and wild-crafted herbs are the best medicine, and this includes your pure essential oils. So you want to make sure that they are certified organic. And again, the Purify essential oils, I use those, and if you are interested in those, please contact me because I can get them for you. These all help to prevent disease. Buying produce, then you can determine if your produce is organic, conventional, or genetically modified by the digits on their stickers. So there's a 5-digit code starting with a 9. That means it's organic, which is naturally grown and there are no chemicals that are sprayed on them. The Granny Smith, says Granny Smith. So the 4-digit code starts with a 4. That means it's conventional. So it's grown with chemicals and pesticides. And then a 5-digit code starting with an 8 means that it's genetically modified. So it's grown unnaturally, and they've taken and put other genes of other plants or animals into that as well to try and make it something different from what it originally was. So those are things that people are finding are causing health issues and other things. So I would suggest staying away from the genetically modified foods. Okay, and then step 3 is to strengthen the body. So we want to do this through regular exercise. You can do the regular exercise. You know, there are a lot of different things you can do for that. I gave some suggestions in your workbook, which are running and jogging, walking, hiking, yoga, swimming, any kind of thing like that. And make sure too, even when you're older, if you do some light weight lifting, that's very helpful for the muscles and the bones. We need that for the osteoporosis also. Osteoporosis is another issue that a lot of people contribute to not eating enough calcium. However, in the United States, we drink the most milk and we have the most calcium supplements, but we also have the highest amount of osteoporosis, which is a disconnect. So what we need to understand is that the plants, again, with the calcium, we can get a much better source of calcium through that will go into the bones and the muscles and help us with that calcium, whereas you're actually doing yourself harm if you go to the animal-based calcium. So be careful with that. And then we talk about the self-care. This is something that's really important, and you have a little bit of a worksheet in your workbook on self-care. This is a good one for you to go over so that you can kind of make sure that you're doing what you need to with the self-care. Just as you think about it, you know, when you go into an airplane, the first thing that they tell you is how to keep yourself safe. And They always say to put the mask over yourself with the oxygen first, and then help young children or the elderly or others that are around you that need help and putting their masks on. The reason why we need to do this is because if we're not breathing, then we can't help anyone else, right? It's the same with your nutrition. If you're not getting the nutrition that you need and getting the health to make you strong and healthy and look and feel amazing, then you're not going to be able to help other people do that either. So work on yourself first. A lot of people worry about their family members or their spouse or others around them, and that's totally understandable. You love them and you want to help them and take care of them, but a lot of them will resist, and my family did that because they didn't have health problems or issues that at the time that I started doing this for myself because of my health issues. It was I was at a desperate point in my life, and I was ready and willing to do anything I wanted, but they weren't. So instead of trying to preach to them and take away all their food that they wanted and everything else, I decided that I just was going to work on myself. And eventually, over time, they started asking for green smoothies or for more fruit. And I started noticing as they got older that they were making themselves fruit bowls and healthier choices of food when they came home from school, or, on the weekends, making a vegetable tray with a dip or something like that. And so they've naturally done this and followed in my footsteps, but it wasn't something that I put down their throats or made them do or anything like that. I also don't take all of the sweets and things out of the house. I have my own cupboard, and I have things in the kitchen that I can access easily. And I have a large area in the kitchen where, on the counter, where I have a bunch of colorful bowls, and I put fruits and things in there that anyone can eat. So I make it an environment that is healthy, but they get to choose what they're going to eat. They also don't. They also see what the consequences are. I've had all of my children who have eaten too much candy or other things, and they've felt sick. And then I have a conversation with them and just help them to understand in a gentle and loving way that the choices that they made probably helped to get them where they are. And as they make that connection, then I notice that they make healthier choices the next time around. So use these things as educational pieces as they are going along their lives, and just be a good example to them. Take care of yourself and just see what happens. Our minds are powerful. You are the captain of your destiny. The choices that you make every moment of the day determine your direction in life. Step into your power and own it. This is an important thing for you to do. All right, so most of this slideshow then is in your workbook, and then you have that information as far as the self-help to take a look at. I also have some information in the workbook about your gut health. So just eating a high amount of raw food is really helpful in restoring the gut flora over time. But if you struggle with leaky gut, then there's some things that you can do. So we talked about buying organic fruit and vegetables. Wash your produce well with a vegetable wash. It is on page 21 of the Reasonably Raw recipe book. Juice your fruits and vegetables for the first several weeks to help the gut heal and keep the maximum amount of nutrients available quickly. Go easy on the grains, especially if they're not organic. And we did talk about making sure that they are sprouted so that you can digest them easier if you're choosing to do that. Use supplementation or a protocol for restoring gut health if necessary. I don't think that's necessary unless you've got a severe case, but if you do your juices and things like that, that should help with restoring that gut health. Pay attention to food combining, like we talked about, to help reduce the gas, bloating, and intestinal upset. The enzymes from juicing and eating raw food should also help with repairing the gut over time. So stay away from processed foods, sugars, cooked foods, and soda. These increase the acidity in your gut and continue perpetuating the problem. If you notice that you have sugar cravings for sugar or other foods, consider doing a liver cleanse or juice cleanse to calm things down. Use organic juice that's unfiltered for best results. Stop eating cooked foods. The repeated consumption of cooked food results in a detrimental enlargement of the pancreas, as well as damage to the liver, heart, thyroid gland, adrenals, and most other organs, as a result of toxic exposure combined with reduced oxygen availability. Eating cooked food has also been shown to provoke degenerative changes in almost all aspects of blood chemistry. These changes usually reverse rapidly when exposure to cooked food is eliminated. Studies have shown that our immune system often reacts to the introduction of cooked food to the bloodstream the same way that it does to foreign pathogens, such as bacteria, viruses, fungi. The body literally attacks the food, sending an army of white blood cells to do the job. So it really is important to eat as much raw food as you possibly can. There is a soaking and sprouting chart that I have in the workbook as well at the end. So make sure that you take a look at that. It says the seed, nut, or grain. So for example, alfalfa, soaking time is 8 hours, and then the sprouting time is 2 to 5 days. Chickpeas, 12 hours and 12 hours for sprouting time. So this will help you with knowing the different seeds and how long to soak them, and then how long it takes to sprout. And again, there's a video on the video program that you have access to that you'll be able to look at. So make sure that you watch that and other modules. I hope that this module has helped you to understand a bit more about cleansing and how important it is for us to be using these foods and herbs to be able to clean our bodies out and prepare ourselves for what's coming in this world. Dr. Christopher also talked about, and it talks about this in the Word of Wisdom in the book of, in the Doctrine and Covenants, which is an LDS scripture. But as we clean our bodies out, the power of the destroyer will pass over us, which means that any plagues or other things that may be coming our way, the viruses and the bacteria and toxins will go into the body but not have a host. It won't have food for it to be able to eat off of, and so it will go out of the system. And that is such a wonderful thing, because you'll notice as you continue eating this way that you don't get sick like other people. I often go around people who are sick and they say, oh, I hope you don't get sick. And I say, I won't. I never do. There are cleansing cycles that we go through, but the sickness often does not happen if your body is completely clean. So work toward that and continue on. You're doing a great job. Just keep moving forward, and you'll continue to see the amazing results that you're looking for. I hope you have a wonderful day, and that if you have any questions, then we can go ahead and take a look at what your needs are, and do that on our next call that we have for coaching, okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.